You know, coffee is one of those things we take for granted these days. We wake up, stumble into the kitchen, hit a button, and a few minutes later, boom, caffeine. Or maybe we swing by a coffee shop, watching as a barista expertly pulls a shot of espresso like they're conducting a tiny caffeinated orchestra. But has anyone ever stopped to wonder how we got here? How we went from boiling coffee in pots to these sleek, high-pressure machines that deliver a perfect shot in seconds? Well, it's a story of obsession, ingenuity, and a whole lot of trial and error. Let's rewind to the 19th century. Europe was deep into the throes of a coffee craze. Coffee houses were popping up faster than hipster cafes in Brooklyn, and everyone from artists to businessmen to sketchy gamblers were gathering for their daily fix. But there was one big problem. Making coffee took forever. And if there's one thing humans are consistently bad at, it's waiting for coffee. Check our reviews. Enter Angelo Moriondo, an Italian businessman who ran cafes and hotels in Turin. Moriondo took one look at the sluggish brewing process and thought, nope, not on my watch. In 1884, Moriondo patented the first ever espresso machine. His invention used steam and pressure to force water through finely ground coffee, producing a concentrated brew in mere seconds. This was revolutionary. No more waiting around ages while your barista stared longingly out the window. But while Moriondo's machine was brilliant, it had one fatal flaw. It was big, bulky, and better suited for a science fair than a busy coffee shop. It never went into mass production, which is why you probably haven't seen his face on a bag of beans. Fast forward to the early 20th century, and along comes Luigi Becerra, an Italian mechanic with a passion for tinkering, and presumably a severe caffeine addiction. Becerra took Moriondo's steam-powered contraption and made it better by adding a piston mechanism to push water through coffee grounds at even higher pressure. This meant a stronger, richer, and more flavorful cup of coffee. But while Becerra could build a mean machine, he couldn't sell one to save his life. That's where Desiderio Pavoni enters the scene. Pavoni saw the potential in Becerra's machine, bought the rights, and in 1905 started churning out espresso machines under the La Pavoni brand. Suddenly, cafes across Italy were equipped with these miraculous devices, and espresso became the new standard. Italians weren't just drinking coffee anymore, they were sipping tiny bold shots of liquid gold that fueled their bustling lives. Espresso quickly became a cultural phenomenon in Italy, but it took a little longer to catch on elsewhere. While Italians were downing their shots at espresso bars, Americans were still brewing gallons of drip coffee. And let's be honest, probably adding way too much cream and sugar. It wasn't until the 1980s and 90s that espresso really made its way into mainstream American culture, thanks to, you guessed it, Starbucks. They brought espresso-based drinks like lattes and cappuccinos to the masses, turning coffee from a basic morning necessity into an entire lifestyle. But back to Italy, where things were getting even more interesting. In 1938, a man named Achille Gaggia decided it was time to take espresso to the next level. He developed a lever-operated machine that used a spring piston to generate even more pressure, which created something magical: crema. That rich, velvety foam that sits on top of your espresso shot, that was Gaggia's gift to the world. With crema, espresso wasn't just a drink, it was an art form. Over the decades, espresso machines continued to evolve. They got sleeker, faster, and easier to use. Semi-automatic and fully automatic machines became the norm, and today, you can find everything from high-end machines that cost as much as a used car to little home models that let you pretend you're a barista without actually knowing what you're doing. And let's not forget the modern-day espresso culture. Whether you're in a tiny Roman cafe, an upscale New York coffee shop, or just in your pajamas at home, the experience of pulling an espresso shot is almost the same. There's the satisfying hum of the machine, the rich aroma filling the air, and that first glorious sip that makes you feel like you can conquer the world, or at least survive your morning Zoom call. Espresso isn't just a drink. It's proof that human impatience can sometimes lead to great things. So here's to the innovators, the caffeine addicts, and the relentless pursuit of the perfect shot. The next time you're savoring that rich, velvety espresso, just know that it's been over a century in the making, and it was all worth it. I'm Jonathan Echeverry, and this was Curious Coffee.